This is the Skyler Jarvis Show!
What's up, everybody? This is the Skyler Jarvis Show. I'm your host, Skyler Jarvis. And today I got a really special guest in the building. Me and him have known each other for 10 years and running. Everybody say hello to my buddy Matthew Bazemore.
Oh man, I forgot. They can't really say hello to me. I was waiting for everybody to be like, "What's up?" You know. What's up, Skyler?
What's up, Matthew? So,
10 years is crazy, man. That seems like it's been longer, but not that long at the same time.
I know, right? It definitely feels like that. Like from whenever we graduated to now, it feels like it wasn't even yesterday that we had last seen each other.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So, were you born blind?
No, I went blind when I was 10 years old. In 2011, because of a brain tumor.
Oh.
It grew on my optic nerves, and my optic nerves, the pressure from the tumor, made my optic nerves collapse.
Ouch.
Yeah, the doctor explained it as like if you hold a straw from like both ends and then put something heavy in the middle, it just breaks, like bends in the middle.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much what it done.
Ow, dag nab, man.
Yeah, stuff happens, It happens, but sometimes, we all, back then I didn't understand, but now, it happens for a reason.
Yeah, man. I mean, for real, like I was born blind, so I can't really tell you what, like I can't compare when everybody's saying I can see this and I can see that and blah, 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 and telling me what they can see. And I'm like, I have nothing to compare it to. So I don't really know anything other than this.
Right. Well, you do have a little bit of vision, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have most of the vision in my right eye, but it's my left eye that I can only see light perception.
I got you. Well, at least you got a little bit. You got a little bit to be, thankful for, and you got something to realize or understand what seeing is like.
Right.
Some people don't even have that.
What was it like for you adjusting to being blind after that brain tumor?
Man, it was like learning how to live all over again. I mean, August 2011, I was all-star pitcher for the North Carolina All-Star League.
Oof.
In October 2011, only 2 months later, I was totally blind, and that was the 1st of October. The end of September, I was starting to lose my vision slowly. But October 2nd, 3rd, I was totally blind. And it was like I was holding a baseball bat to a blind cane within 2 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was different. It took a while to adjust. I didn't sit in. I like to say this a lot. I didn't sit in my dirty diaper for a long time. I got up, scraped the mud off, and then kept going. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's the only way to do it, man.
I'd rather keep walking and cry than sit there and complain, and be still and cry. That makes no sense, but hopefully you got me.
I definitely got you. So, about the time me and you met is 3 years later, right?
Yes. Yep.
So we actually met in short term, and I remember you getting up and sharing your story with everybody, and it definitely moved me, dude.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. I was more intrigued. At first I was scared. I ain't never been around blind people before. I mean, even though I was blind, but I've never been around blind people before. And it's kind of like when people get around basketball players and you know nothing about basketball.
Uh
You
huh.
got to eventually fit in with the group. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
takes a while to fit in and start to relate with those basketball players. Um, so yeah, I was a little scared at first, but um, man, it was awesome to hear y'all story. You talk about hearing my story, but some of y'all story really touched me as well and opened me up to the blind community.
For me, it was more along the lines of like 2012. I went to summer camp for the first time, and I was still used to Mama being there and Mama and everybody else, and I'd never done anything like that before.
Right, me either. I'm right there with you.
So going and staying the night somewhere 4 hours away from home, yeah, it was kind of. I mean, it was eye opening in a way, but it was also like I don't know what to do. I fit in, but I don't know how I fit in.
Exactly. It takes some time to learn where you fit in and how you're going to fit in, and it's something about all of us. Not even just blind people. Everybody.
Uh huh.
Change really scares people, and it did it. It did me.
It really can. Change can be hard sometimes, but I mean, you just gotta deal with it, man.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. Sometimes change don't come under your own doing, so you guys got to go with it and go with the flow.
yeah, man. So me and you, when I remember when we bonded, like we bonded over the rap, and I was still in my Myler Kyler stage and everything. I mean, that was the way I rap. I was always had these friends, imaginary friends. You know how kids are. They were named Myler and Kyler, so Myler Kyler. But I was into stuff like Snoop Dogg. I was into stuff like uh Eminem, Lil Wayne, especially Lil Wayne,
Oh yeah,
Carter 4. That was my jam.
oh yeah. Carter 4. Lil Wayne started with me. Carter 3, but Carter 4 was was hard, man. I really liked Carter 4. Still to this day, it's one of my favorite albums.
Definitely, man. It's one of my favorite Lil Wayne albums for sure. For sure. And then I still think the Carter 5 is pretty underrated.
It is. I think so too. I don't listen to it as much as I do Carter 4, but there's a lot of good songs on Carter 5.
I remember when it came out and me and you was in the blockhouse, you used to say it was trash.
What, the
The Carter
Carter
5,
5?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did because at first, like you said, it took me some time to grow on it. Especially because I was comparing it to Carter 3 and 4, where it
Yeah.
was like I can't remember how long it was between albums, but it was a good while.
I think it was in between. Well, I mean, he put out an album in between, but it was, it didn't come to streaming until like 2020.
Right?
So in between I'm Not a Human Being Part 2 and then the Carter 5, it was about 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, it took a while for me to grow on it, and I'm glad you called me out on that. And I'm glad you mentioned that I said it was trash at first, and that's just given me. I had to get some time to sit down and listen to it, and it was good and it was different. I think it's a lot different than what his normal stuff was.
Definitely, dude. I was just glad to have a Lil Wayne album out, dude. To be honest with you, back
Yeah,
then.
I was super hyped. I think what made me say it was trash was like I was so excited for it when I heard the first couple songs. Like, man, this is not what I expected. Like it was so different than 3 and 4.
Right.
And I'm not a human being. Part two.
Yeah, part one and two. They were all great albums.
Yeah, they were.
But we bonded over the rap thing, and I remember like you was rapping your ass off in those early days. Like I would walk into your room, dude, and you would be flowing. You'd be going at it hard.
Yeah. This freestyling and I don't know. I took it very serious then. I do now, but um,
You really
man,
took it.
freestyling was my thing. Rapping. I thought I was going to be the next Mac Miller or somebody.
Heck yeah, rest in peace, Mac Miller,
Yeah, for sure. That broke my heart when
for
that happened.
sure. And you know, as as time went on, me and you got we got pretty close, and you were always picking on me back then, and I mean you still do now, but back then I really didn't know how to take it.
Right. And I remember telling you like, Skyler, I'm trying to toughen up your skin, boy. And like you used to get so mad at me, but
Yeah.
I knew when to lay back. But I knew when to lay off. And let you know like, hey, I'm just messing with you, man. I love you, Skyler. Just chill. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah, man. I mean
Um,
you were always a good friend. You and Shazine and even Chase, like y'all stuck by me when all of my other friends would have dashed out the door.
right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not one of them people, man.
You're in
Even
it for
though
life, yeah.
it kills me when people get in a clique, or a group of friends, they act like you cannot associate with anybody that's outside of that clique.
Right.
And that bugs me because, like, just because you're not in the clique of 3 or 4 friends that I'm in, don't mean, I can't go there and talk to you about rapping or what the hell Myler Kyler means. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever it's, whatever it's about, ain't no reason why I can't go talk to you. And I hate when people do that.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, one of my questions for you is when you went to GMS, how was life for you when you started getting in the swing of things and started learning a lot about the blind community?
It was the greatest thing ever, man. It was like I finally fit in with somebody. You know, I
Word.
fit in with a group of people that I've been missing for 3 years. Where I was blind, where before I went blind, I was fitting in with everybody. Cool with everybody, and then going blind, and then the same friends that I had before, like they didn't know how to approach me anymore. But I'm the same dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but when I realized when I got in the swing of things in the blind community, it's like, man, you know, this is just like before. These people understand what it's like. Running into a wall when you got to pee really bad. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Running into a wall and you got to pee real bad, or you know, trying to cook. Whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Everybody understands,
I could
and it's good to
definitely
have.
relate to the running into a wall thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've kissed a couple walls, quite a few walls in my life, my blind life.
Quite a few doors too.
Yeah, yeah. You know them poles you got them what do you call them? Them poles you get have in Walmart that stands in the middle of the and just in the middle of the aisles.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of them though. I know what you're
Ain't,
talking about. Yes, especially.
it ain't barriers. I don't know what the hell it's called, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, them things used to make me so mad. I could have tore that whole Walmart down.
Oh my gosh, and not only that, but just putting random stuff in just in the middle of the aisle. Like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah, and it took one thing I will say, and I think a lot of blind people get like this, and I'm not calling out all blind people. I'm really calling out how I ended up feeling. A lot of blind people and me at one time, when you start feeling like, when you start getting into an area where everything is accommodated for you, you feel like everywhere else you go, everything should be accommodated just for you as well. Meaning,
Exactly.
meaning, like when you go out into a restaurant
You expect them
and
to
they
have a
don't
braille
they
menu.
don't have braille menus. Some people some blind people get upset and offended. Like, I can't believe you don't have blind menus, but you've got you've got printed menus.
You know,
You know,
one of the things I've wanted to do for the longest time is get out in the community and go around to some of these restaurants and braille out their menus for them if they don't have a braille menu.
yeah, I mean that's a good thing, but you know, the issue, with it is menus change all the time, prices change.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not really a. My point of bringing it up was, it's no need to get offended or hurt because they didn't go out the way to accommodate us. Now, we're such a percentage, small percentage of us are blind. Most people can see.
Right.
So, you know, in business, what's more, what's worth it? Is it worth updating the Braille menu every month? Because stuff does change so much when you can just print out a menu every month if you need to. You
Right.
know,
I can understand that, but at the same time, I'm like, if you are able to have those accommodations, you should be able to get them.
right? Yeah.
It's same thing with
I
the.
agree.
I went to Carowinds a few months ago, Matthew, and they said they had like a braille map for the blind of the place, and he looked it up on the internet and everything, and made sure I would be able to see a lot of the stuff on there too. It's
Man,
my
that's
buddy
really cool.
Jared. Yeah, he's cool.
Don't get me wrong. Like I won't trying to say that you know places shouldn't have these things.
Right, I
I mean,
understand what you're saying too.
it's so cool to know that they do have these places like Cracker Barrel. They've got braille menus and
Yes, Cracker Barrel. I just read a Cracker Barrel braille menu.
nice. Well,
Yeah.
if you notice, some things aren't updated, but you can't like again, you can't really be offended or mad at them because it's not updated.
Right.
Um, the braille even changes. Contracted braille sometimes changes in between the times where they first got it done and now.
Right. You know, but what I was saying about the place at Carowinds, actually got there, and he went up to see if there was a braille thing, or if we could get the Braille thing. And he came back and he said, that lady said they didn't have nothing.
He said he didn't have anything.
He said they didn't have anything when he went up there.
Oh,
Yeah, he was pissed. Jared was pissed.
hey, it's good to know. You got somebody to stand up for you. You know.
And especially the people, like whenever I would go, like, Carowinds is a crowded place, dude.
Oh yeah.
So people would just dart out right in front of you. And Jared would get so heated over that. He'd be like, "Can't you see he's blind?"
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It kills me when people do that, but at the same time, nobody's really thinking.
They're either on their phones or
nobody's really like looking around every corner, saying like, "Oh my God, a blind person might be coming around." You know what I mean? They're not
right.
thinking about it, and it's kind of a good thing to us because us blind people want to be independent. So let us be independent. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me and feeling like everybody there's got to run toward me
or try to guide you, and like having people try to guide you to your seat or guide you where you need to go, and that they'll instead of you grabbing their elbow, they'll sit there and maneuver you towards the seat, and that, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that does get on my nerves, but
I understand that, they're trying to. I mean, they're not meaning it in a rude way, but sometimes you got to be like, hey, let me grab your elbow, and then we can walk together.
Right, yeah, and most people just don't know, like, so you got to take time and tell them, hey, can I grab your elbow so I can, so you can guide me better. It'll be easier for you and me. And then they'll understand, but don't approach it, in a ugly way,
Heck yeah, man. Never approach it in an ugly way.
Because people just don't know,
That's what I do when people ask the how many fingers am I holding up question. And that, for me, it's like I always tell them, like, if you were dealing with any other blind person, they'd probably get upset at you. But I'm just gonna tell you, so you'll be aware. Blind people do not like you to ask them how many fingers are you holding up. You might be trying to see how good they can see and everything, but most blind people you meet take that as, you trying to, I don't know.
Do you know what I do that you should start doing when people ask you how many fingers you're holding up?
What?
After you tell them you're blind, tell them they're holding up 11 fingers. That'll really mess them up. That'll really mess them up. So, like, how many fingers am I holding up? 11? That's going to make them look down at their own fingers and be like, no, only 10.
yeah, man.
You only got 10 fingers, right? It's at least 1 to 10.
Right. I should try that next time somebody asks.
Do it. Say 11. It's going to mess them up. I promise. It's going to make them
Then again, people are going to see this podcast and know what I'm doing.
Yep. They're going to start. People watching right now are holding up 10 fingers and thinking about if they had 11. Hey, you watching? Put your hands down. It's all right. I'm just kidding.
Oh man. When you graduated GMS, and you were lucky, dude. You got to go with Mr. Duffy and work at LCI. How was getting into that routine?
And it was awesome, man. It really helped me with the transition, from leaving GMS to the quote unquote real world. Um, Mr. Duffy really helped me out a lot as far as, budgeting and, and and advice that I may not have if I didn't have him. You know what I mean? So I'm extremely blessed
Heck yeah, man.
that I
Mr.
was able to, that he, brought me in and, and helped me with this stuff. He didn't tell me what to do. He just helped me with it. You know what I'm saying? So I was still making my own decisions, but,
But he was
he
helping you make
gave
some
me
of
something
those
to consider.
decisions.
Say what?
I said he was helping you make some of those decisions,
Yeah, exactly. He'd advise me,
steering you
like,
in the right
this might not be a
direction.
good idea. Or I think that's a great idea. And I'm super thankful. And LCI, I've got nothing bad to say about them.
Ah,
They've
man,
been
I bet.
extremely good to me. They've been very good to me, and I love working with them.
You still work there, right?
Yep, I work from home with them, work remotely on the BSC side. So,
Oh,
customer care coordinator.
I, I mean, I like the idea of working from home, but at the same time, I like to be in the building. I like to interact with people. You know,
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely rather be there. So, I worked in the manufacturing plant, and then I transferred to the distribution center, and then I wanted to move back home to my hometown, and there isn't an LCI close in my hometown.
right?
But I still wanted to work with LCI, and I pretty much begged them, like, I want to stay with LCI. Please, if there's something I can do, and still, and still work. If there's something I can do working from where I'm going to move, help me find it. And they told me, we want you to keep working with us too. And they helped me find a position, and
That's how you
they made
started working from
the
home.
transition. Yes, yeah. I didn't want to stop working at with LCI,
I
but I
could see
also
where
wanted
that
to move.
could come in handy, dude. Too.
Say that again.
I said I could see where that how that would come in handy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, especially because around here, there's not many places that could work. What am I going to look like driving a tractor down the road or something? Because it's a lot of farmland around here.
You are a fireman, though. You're a firefighter.
Yes, I am.
Tell us about that. How do you fight these fires as
So,
being
I'm
blind?
not the one holding, the front of the nozzle. Where the ones that actually spray the flames. But I'll hold the hose, behind that guy. Hold it up so they can pull it better. It's a real heavy hose. I mean, you got thousands of gallons of water coming through it, so you got a lot of guys helping pull that hose, and so I do that, or just hold onto the hose and hold it up, and you'll be able to feel if you're going up steps or something, the hose will rise up, so you just follow it. You know what I mean? And I'll also work the pump. So I get on the truck, and that's how you pull in the water, rather from a fire hydrant or another truck. Basically running the truck, and you're the reason why they're even getting water on the fire. So I've done that, and I do that a lot actually.
Wow,
And
man.
you got a lot of different um, controls to use. You got little, I guess you call it nodules, and you get to pull down, and you can pull down, and then to increase the pressure of the water, or to stop transferring from the truck can pull water from the hydrant. At all times you got to keep water in the truck you're on.
Right.
Or it's not going to do any good. So it's a good feeling, being a part of that and wanting to give back to the community. Even though I'm blind, I've been trying for years, especially in Raleigh. But in Raleigh, you got to go to school for it and stuff,
Right.
and I wasn't able to do all that. So when I moved back down here, I talked to the chief of one of the towns here, and he says, "Man, there's always something for anybody to do. We can find something for you to do." He won't worried at all. And thankfully, I knew him all my life. He knew me before I went blind. He knew me when I went blind, and he knows me now.
That's
So
good, man.
he knew what my mentality was and how I was. I don't let nothing stop me. So
It's good to
thankfully,
have somebody like that on your side, man.
for sure. And that's everybody. All the other firefighters, they're the same way. They welcome me with open arms. You had to be voted in the fire department. You had to be voted in, and you had to motion it off. And thankfully, there was no issues at all. And I'm one of them now, and they all, it's like family. And I'm so glad I'm able to do it.
You said, I know you told me one time when you were fighting a fire, the fire was really close to your arm or something.
Yeah, we were I was holding the hose, and I felt something. I had on my fire suit and the whole mask and stuff,
Right.
and I felt something like really something hot on my left arm, and I'm like, shoot. This was the first time I've ever been in a house fire. And even though you're 10 feet or more away from the flames, it's still very hot. And it
Right.
felt like my arm was on fire. No, not literally, but it was enough to make me think about, daggone, was my arm on fire or something, And I asked the guy in front of him, like, hey, is my arm on fire? Is my gear on fire? He was like, no, you're good. It's just the heat. So it was an experience, going through that. And
Dag, I bet it was.
another thing I want to mention is my chief told me, he said a lot of times when we're in those fires, we can't see either. It's so smoky in there, we can't see much past, the hose itself that we're holding.
That's
Um,
crazy, man.
yeah, yeah,
You learn something new every day.
yeah, for sure. And a lot of times when people are trapped in there and you got to do a search and rescue, you're on the floor. When they do that, a lot of times they're on the floor filling with their hands
Wow,
because
man.
they can't see through the smoke. You just can't see through the smoke. I mean, so they got to feel with their hands and then keep going. So, my chief said, you should be better at us at that. You've been doing that for a while.
Heck yes, the circle search.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. I've taught that to sighted people. Because I'm like, you might not be blind, but sometimes if you're in the dark and you drop something or you need to search for something on the floor, that could be a good way of doing it.
Yeah, for sure. You never know when you're gonna come across a situation where you don't have to use it.
Heck yeah. You were always the jokester, dude, in the school. Uh, Tell me about when Dustin, your friend Dustin, came to your house, and you were trying, and he was trying to find the bathroom.
Well, my house is a pretty big house, and it's, to be honest with you, if you can't see, it's kind of hard to navigate. It's a lot of corners and stuff. And it was his first time coming, and he was like, "Dude, I got to go to the bathroom. We were up real late." And he's like, "Dude, I got to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "All right, it's that way." I was like, "Which way?" "That way." "Which way, dude? I got to piss." This way. It's like, "Matt, help me to the bathroom." So, all right, I got you. Hold on to my shoulder. And so our pantry is a real big pantry. It's like a walk-in pantry. And
Yeah.
he, I was
You let him in the freaking pantry.
I opened up the pantry, and I told him, "All right, here's the bathroom right here." He's like, "All right, thanks, dog." I'm like, "All right, I'm shutting the door. The toilet's right in front of you." So he's like, reached down, hit his head on one of the shelves that was in there, knocked over a can of vegetables or something. He's like, "Matt, where am I?" He's like, "Dude, you better get me out of here before I piss in your Cheez-Its." He was like, yeah, I think he was when I realized he was in the damn pantry, and it's like, "All right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm headed to the bathroom." So I helped him to the bathroom, the real bathroom, and yeah, that's the kind of jerk I am, I guess.
He was always me. He was always playing jokes on me, on everybody. Like he was the master at that crap. You know, he was.
I remember walking back from the health center at GMS back to the block house, and I'd always get like way ahead of Skyler on purpose and like hide behind a bush or something. And Skyler would just be doing his own thing, minding your own business,
Yeah.
and I just like jump out or do something stupid, and you just like talk smack to me. I'd scare the mess out of you. You just talk smack to me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't hit me inside the head with your cane one time. You probably tried to.
No, I wouldn't want to mess up your head, dude, because,
I ain't worried. Yeah. My head's already messed up.
yeah, you already got a brain tumor. You don't need nothing more.
You're right. You're right. But hey, I wouldn't have been mad at you.
You used to scare the crap out of me at the blockhouse, dude.
I did. I sure did. And I guess, I've always liked to mess with you. And the reason why is because, I love you, man. You're like a brother.
Heck yeah.
And you always give the best reactions.
I'd be taking a shower at the blockhouse, and then Matthew would bang on the door.
And Skylar, you could hear Skylar like jump, like, "Dude, what's wrong with you? Stop!"
Yeah, because it scared the crap out of me, dude. I thought somebody was coming, trying to break in the freaking door.
Yeah, and the reason why I kept doing it is because I didn't understand at the time why I kept scaring him, because he should know better by now that I'm gonna do that crap. Like, all right, I've done this for the past 3 days. You should know tonight I'm gonna do it again. So I just kept doing it until you still there?
Yeah, man.
Okay, yeah. So I kept doing it until you started like realizing. One day you come up there before you got in the shower, like, "I'm about to get in the shower. Don't bang on the door, okay?"
Yeah. Yeah, I eventually got to where I realized you were gonna do it.
Yeah, and
You'd
then I
make me
stopped.
jump out of my daggone skin, dude.
And then I'd stop. I mean, you sort of know I was going to do it, so I stopped.
Yeah. Me and
But,
Matt.
I enjoyed the Blockhouse. That's probably one of my highlights of GMS. Blockhouse was awesome. And for the ones that don't know, the Blockhouse was kind of like an independent living section of GMS where it was four of us. We would actually cook our food and clean up the blockhouse. It was kind of like living in a little apartment.
Right.
And it was the coolest thing. We were quite far away from the regular dorms or cottages, we called it.
We had to learn how to get there. And
Oh gosh,
I
yeah,
remember I remember it took me a week to get to I didn't know how long it was going to take me, but it didn't take me long from going back and forth every day
right,
following, and then going with the O&M people, especially on short notice, because usually when somebody gets in the blockhouse, the O&M people will come later in the like before the summer. They would usually come and show you where the blockhouse was, but they didn't do it with me, so it was on short notice, and I learned it in a week.
right. And good thing about it, we walked as a group. So if it was
Right.
you, me, or Dustin, or you, me, Shazian, we would always walk together. Even though I probably wasn't much help scaring the crap out of you, but
Yeah.
I was right there, and you were right there.
Right.
So if one of us got, you know, lost, somebody should have been on track.
Yeah,
And it
man.
has happened. I've missed my turn a couple of times, and it's like, where am I at? Am I in Central Prison?
Yeah, the prison was right beside of GMS.
Yeah, sometimes you can, in some areas, you can actually hear the prisoners and the whistles, and every once in a while, yeah, you can hear it.
What?
And it was interesting. That's how close it was. They used to tell us if we act up, they're gonna throw us over the fence.
Yeah, I remember especially Miss Diane.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised they didn't throw me over the fence a couple times.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man.
Yeah, I know. You kept calling people Mile Collar. I'm surprised they didn't throw you over real quick.
After about 2 years, I kind of gave the Mila collar stuff up, though.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Eventually, I did.
I kind of missed it. I kind of missed it when you gave it up. It's
Yeah.
like, dang. Like, I'm glad you did, but in a way, I kind of missed it because it was funny. It was funny to me.
Right.
Sometimes, but yeah, you gave it up.
Yeah, man. And 2018, 2019 was some of the best years. I remember one of the things, the highlights of 2018, 2019 when we did the Christmas performance. We did hot chocolate.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I remember that one thing that sticks out to me is right before we did that song, you and Kimmy were still together, and Kimmy was like, every one of us has got Christmas pants on or Christmas pajamas on, and Skyler's got a SpongeBob one on.
You had a SpongeBob on.
I had SpongeBob pajamas. Yeah.
Nice. I can't remember what kind I had. I think I had Grinch or plaid. I can't remember.
But man, when the curtain opened up, oh man, that was a good performance right there.
You remember? Actually, I had a Grinch suit that year.
Did you?
Yeah, I was wearing a Grinch suit, and when I did one of my solo sets on, it was actually the Grinch playing the trumpet,
Right.
and I don't think I played the Grinch song. I can't remember, but I played something, and I remember wearing that Grinch suit.
One of the things
Probably didn't look much different than what I really look like.
I remember us doing, we did Last Christmas, uh,
Santa Baby.
Santa Baby. We did Hot Chocolate.
Yeah.
And,
Last Christmas, Santa Baby, Hot Chocolate.
I'm trying to think of
Was
the
it Jingle Bells?
Jingle Bell Rock, Jingle
Yeah,
Bell Rock. Yeah,
that was my favorite one.
yeah. For me,
I
it
feel like
was,
there was one more, but maybe not. That might have been it.
I don't know, man. It's been so daggone long.
I know.
It's hard to believe, dude.
I know. It seems like a lifetime ago, but again, it seems like it was just yesterday.
Right. Another thing is the spring concert that year. This was right before you graduated.
Yep.
And Miss Durling was like everybody was musical. Like you were really good at the trumpet. Jody was good on the guitar and the bass, and Dustin played the guitar. Uh, Wesley played the piano. Shazan
I think he
played
was sax, wasn't he? Saxophone.
saxophone, and then I was the drummer, and every one of us was musically inclined. So when Miss Durling asked us to teach each other songs, we jumped on it.
Yeah. We all picked a really good song.
I really liked yours. I'm not gonna lie.
It was High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. I think he sings it.
Yeah, you're kind of sounds like you turned away from your phone a little bit.
How about now?
Yeah,
I think it was High Hope. It was. I know it was High Hopes, but Panic at the Disco
Panic at
sings
the
it.
Disco. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not even then. It wasn't my style of music, but it was something about that song I really liked. And we're about to graduate, and I had this cringy speech to my, we're graduating this year, and you got to have high hopes. You got to have high hopes. Uh,
right.
but that song did mean a lot to me that year. You got to have high hopes for the future.
Heck yeah, man. And like you did High Hopes, Shazan did Mellow Out by Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats. Um, Jody he wrote his own song, and then um, Wesley did his song, and then Dustin did Inner Sandman,
Yep.
of course, and
You did what?
Expressway to Your Heart by Booker T and the MGs.
Yep. How did that go?
Boom, boom, bum, 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 boom, bum, 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 boom.
Oh yeah, bum bum bum. Yeah,
Da 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 da.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
you had the trumpet part for that one, if I remember right.
Man, it was so hard too. It
Yeah, man,
was a hard song to play on the trumpet.
it was. But a lot of people say that one was the best, and I'm like, Dude, I think everybody it fit it perfectly with the set we were doing, and everybody had their talent.
Yeah, and plus the genre we each picked was so different in a way.
Very much so. Like everybody had a different style of song. Like Jody and Wesley were, they did more of a blues kind
Yeah,
of.
and Dustin did rock, and I
Dustin
did.
did heavy metal. You did pop. Shazan did.
I don't know what you call that. What is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name. There's a name for it. Dagnabbit.
Lo-fi?
Uh, I don't know if it would be considered lo-fi. I don't know, man. But Shazan had something different, and then I had like the '60s, late '60s kind of rock.
Yeah. I liked all the songs, but I think the funnest song, like the song I enjoyed playing the most was "Mellow Out."
Yeah,
It was no, I don't know, like it was just fun to play.
that one was. Yeah,
And Shazam, he sang it so well. I think it was because he sang it, like, and we were playing behind him singing.
right.
It was something.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think it's the first time I've ever done that.
Heck yeah, man. That whole show was a showcase of everybody's talent.
For sure. Yeah.
And the day we did it, dude, I had a sore throat. You remember cuz we played we played a nursing home like 2 days before the show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We
And
did. I forgot about that.
I remember us going, and then like after the set, I told Miss Sterling, I said my throat is hurting for some reason, and I thought it was just a throat ache that sometimes you have one of them that just pass if you get a water in you or something. You drink a water and it goes away, or you take some like over the counter medicine and it would go. But it just kept getting worse every day, and they about sent me home. And I was like, no, I cannot miss this concert. I've got to do this concert. If I just get to do the band, I want to do it.
I'm
So
glad you were able to stay. It wouldn't have been right without you.
heck no, man. I'm glad I did too, and I held it. And I wasn't able to do most of the chorus songs. I did "We Are the World," and I remember by the time when the chorus people, when we got up to do the chorus stuff and we were doing Tina Singu, I was like, my voice is not. I can't sing the way I need to. Like it was hurting just getting a note out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Didn't you
man.
have a solo?
I had a solo in "We Are the World." I had several solos in "We Are the World," actually.
Didn't you? You ended up doing it though, right? It was.
I ended
Didn't you
up
end up doing
I ended up doing one of them, and then
it?
Shazan had to take the rest of them.
You did good though.
Heck yeah!
I
Thank
had
you,
the
man.
rap part.
What's up?
I had the rap part of
Not.
that song.
I think Jody had the rap part.
Me and Jody did it. So
Oh,
like,
heck yeah!
yeah, I think there's like two rap parts in that. He had one. I had one.
It was right in the middle of everything too, and that
Yeah,
song was so good when we did it.
it was, and it was really good because And you got everybody together, everybody on stage. You know who requested to do that song?
Who?
My mama.
Ah,
My mom asked Miss Derlin, "Can we do it?" And she said, "Yeah." So we did it.
man, I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, yeah. My mom did request that
One,
because my mama likes that song.
she does. That's. It's a good song, man.
It is. You got some of the greatest people up there,
For sure.
greatest musicians.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Uh, what is it like being a blind father? Because I know you have kids.
It's it's very challenging at times. Um, Hold on, let me not start off like that way. Being a father in general is probably the best thing, the best gift that a person can get. Um, it changes you. It changes you. It makes you grow up. It helps you. It softens you up a little bit. You know.
Heck yeah.
Not saying like too soft or nothing, but it
Right.
softens you up. Makes you look. Makes you realize
Makes you
the
look
hard
at things in
things.
your life.
Yeah. And, all the things your parents used to get on you about, you now immediately understand what it's like. And being a father is, awesome. Being a blind father is hard. It really is hard. Nothing is blind friendly. We were talking about, earlier we were talking about having places, accommodate you everywhere. We think everything should be accommodated. Well, there's nothing out there that, we don't have baby bottles that talk to you or tell you how many ounces you got. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, nothing's blind friendly. You got to find out you're on your own what's going to work and what will not work. So, for example, you got these, bottles, the tall, skinny ones, kind of. Well,
Right.
the hole, the opening to the bottle is not that big, but you have a scoop you got to put, formula in. That scoop sometimes is bigger than the hole you put the powder in, the formula in.
Right.
That's even hard for sighted people.
Yeah, man.
But imagine, not being able to see, where you're pouring it because it's so small.
Heck yeah.
And
That.
you feel like you get more powder or more formula on the daggone table than you
Than
do
you
in the
do
bottle.
actually in the bottle. Yes.
Yeah. So that's one example. I ended up having to get one of the fatter bottles that had a bigger hole in it, so I wouldn't have to worry about not missing it. I mean, you still got to make sure you're pouring in the right spot, but you ain't got to worry about you know the scoop being too big,
Right.
bigger than the
Right.
bottle. So you got to find ways to help yourself. And it's another thing, putting diapers on, and keeping up with everything. You got a diaper. You just took off a dirty one, put that in a different spot. Grab the wipes. Where the heck are the wipes? They were just beside me. You got to hurry up because I got a boy and you don't want him to start peeing everywhere.
Right.
And or my son's at the age now where he likes to roll around, so you don't want him to roll off the bed or so you got to look after everything, especially the peeing part, because I mean that's happened multiple times. um, but that's nothing. Nobody can do. It's not about being blind. It's got to be organized. Know everything's at. my smell sense of smell don't work that very well, so I can't smell a poopy diaper.
That's something that I'm glad you said that because now I have somebody I can relate to. I'm not that good of a smeller.
I didn't know that.
Wow, man, I
I'm
didn't
not
know that
either.
about you either.
I don't know if it was chemo that done it or I'm pretty sure it did, and then getting COVID 3 times, I think took it away. Um,
Oh, you got COVID 3 times? Dag nab.
yes, sir. Third time's a charm, baby.
You know,
But
go
that
ahead.
last time about took me out of here. But anyway, I ain't getting to that. But yeah, I mean, I can't smell very well, so I can't tell if he's pooped or not. So
Right.
what do you got to do? You got to use your finger. See if the diaper's dirty or not. There's ways you just got to deal with it. You got to man up and deal with it. Like, yeah, it's nasty, but that's your son. That's your daughter.
Like I
You know what I mean? So,
I can only pick like our sometimes when our dog poops in the house and I'm coming through and I step in it and I get my foot in it and I'm like, ugh.
yeah.
Like I'm trying to figure out where it's at and if it's dry. I'll only pick it up when it's dry. Cause I'm like I can't do the runny poo thing. I would drop it everywhere.
Yeah. It's. I'm not a. I'm not a poop guy either. I don't like cleaning up poop. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do. Um, but when it comes to your kid, he or she, they didn't ask to be in this world. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
got to take care of them and help them change their diaper, and it ain't gonna be too long till they're doing it on their own. So
Uh,
you got to man up and do it.
I've actually heard you playing with your kid and like you were yesterday you were playing ball with him.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you know where to throw the ball?
So at 4 years old, they don't stop talking. They just keep going and going and going and going and going. So automatically, you know where he is. You know about where to throw it.
Oof.
Or roll it or whatever you do. So, and I've always had a good arm on me as far as aim and a good sense of direction. And like me and my cousins used to play football in the backyard, and I would always be quarterback. And what they would do is, I say, hold up, hike, and then they'll run out there. And when they're ready for me to throw and they're open, they'll clap their hands. And it got to the point where we did it so much that I'd put it right on the money every time. Well, not every time, but I take that back.
Most of
Not
the
every time,
time.
but majority of the time when they clapped, I, it was right there. It was very catchable. Sometimes it was a little too high or too low, but a lot of times my cousin's like, man, it's catchable. Like, and they enjoyed doing that with me. So same thing with my kid now. I tell him to clap. Even if he is talking, I get him to clap to teach him what he's got to do.
Right.
'Cause he don't understand that I'm 4 years old and I'm supposed to stop talking. It's okay to stop talking for a couple seconds.
Right.
So I still teach him that he's got to clap. So I throw that ball when he claps. I throw it to him, he'll catch it. Or I'll roll it to him, he'll catch it. Just ways around everything.
Heck yeah. And
If you say you can't do it, it's just an excuse.
you're completely blind, and you rely more on voice. Like, I can at least locate you with what vision I have. Like, you have to completely rely on your voice to tell you where somebody's at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and you got to do what works. And I'd rather learn how to. I'd rather teach myself how to do that than look helpless about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You actually got in a wreck not too
Yeah.
long ago. How was recovering from that? Like, what?
So it was 2021. And my dad ended up with COVID, and he was in the hospital for a long time, and eventually he ended up passing away.
Oh man.
Um, the day after his funeral, we got in a car accident. It was my wife now. She was my girlfriend at the time. It's my wife and her son. He was 6 months older than my mom. And, we were on the way back home from my sister's house. And 10 minutes away from home, I guess, I don't know what happened. I'm not going to get into that, why it happened or what happened. But, once we got in a car accident, and they said that we flipped 6 times.
Oh man.
Um, from front end to front end. So from front end to back 6 times.
And
And we
all of y'all survived it.
yes,
No major injuries.
my wife now got the worst of it. They had to airlift her. But I was pretty much the only one. I guess my adrenaline got so high, dude. When people say you get adrenaline high, it's real, man. You feel like nothing can get in your way because the car was upside down, and I was like, we were all hanging down when my wife got thrown out the car.
Ah man.
But me, my mom, and the 6 month old was still in the car, upside down, and I was like, damn, I can't just sit here. You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna sit here upside down to wait for somebody to come help. So I took my seatbelt off, and I put my hand over my head to get ready to drop because I was upside down. So I I caught myself, and then I got upright, and the window. I was in the passenger side front, so I saw that it was partially cracked, but the glass was still there. I'm
Oof.
like, man, I got to get out of here somehow and make sure, for one, the baby's okay. And so I busted out the rest of the glass and cut my hands all up. But that's how I got out, and I crawled out that way, and I ran around the car, what was left of the car. Um, and the baby was hanging, he was hanging upside down by the car seat, and I heard him laugh. This little dude was laughing because he thought it was fun. He was swinging upside down. He thought it was funny. So, he didn't understand, what just happened.
Right.
But that's all I needed to know. You know what I mean? If he's laughing, he's good. He's alive, he's good. Then I had to. My mom, she was talking. She was trapped in the car. She couldn't get out. But as long as she was talking, I was good. And I couldn't find my wife. And, I looked around what was going on. And at this whole time, my head was like busted open. I mean, blood flowing out of my head.
Oh.
My knees were gashed all up. My hands were gashed up. But I didn't care. That adrenaline was just so high. And I ended up finding my wife. She was in the ditch, and I kept talking to her. She was like barely hanging on. I kept talking to her like, "Hey, your son's okay. Everything's good. Keep talking. And she kept telling me, like, I'm about to get up. I'm about to get up. No, no. And I remember telling her, like, she's like, I need to check on my baby. I need to get up. No, stay your ass right there. Don't move. I remember telling her that.
You kind of faded
Because I
out
didn't
for a
know what was
minute.
wrong. Come to find out, she couldn't get up no way because she broke her spine.
You kind of faded out for a minute
Oh,
when
all right, sorry.
you
Can
were
you hear me
talking
now?
about your wife.
Yeah, and she kept saying, you hear me better now, right?
Yeah.
All right. And she kept saying, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up and check on my baby. And I told her, no, you're going to stay your ass right there. Do not move. I didn't want her to try to get up. Because I always heard, in that situation, you don't want them to move. Because it can cause more damage.
Right.
So I was stern with her and told her, like, no, you stay your ass right there and don't you move. But keep talking to me. And, find out, she broke her spine.
You
She
said
broke
she
her
had to be
pelvis.
airlifted out of there?
Yeah.
Dag
Yeah.
nab, man.
She broke her pelvis, her eye socket, her back.
Her eye socket?
Yeah, her eye socket, yeah.
Dag nab, dude.
Yeah, it was rough. And she got the worst of it. I busted my head open really, really bad, and I broke my back. And my mom, she had a shoulder injury from where the seatbelt was pushing against her shoulder.
Dag nab, dude.
And the kid and the baby, he only got a seatbelt burn on his thigh. So thank God.
Thank goodness the baby didn't get anything.
Right. And the state trooper told us that night, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, I do not know how any of you are alive right now.
It was the grace of God, man.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And he said somebody was watching over y'all tonight. And I kept thinking back, like, yesterday was my dad's funeral. It had to be my dad and God, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. One thing I have to ask before we wrap this podcast up is since you were blind, I've always thought like if a man's blind, like you give at least part of your blindness to your kid. But I don't know how true that is. Can your kid see good?
Yeah. He can. It, that just depends on if what your condition is genetic.
Right.
Stuff like glaucoma, runs in the family. But brain tumors, thankfully, the one I have is not genetic, so I can't pass it. It's not in my genes.
Thank goodness.
So, blindness ain't in my genes. It's just something that happened and I was SOL, So, thankfully, I didn't. My kid can see good, and as far as I know, he don't have no cancer or brain tumor or nothing. He's
I
healthy, and I'm thankful for that.
That's good, man. That's good.
That was something that really bothered me at one time. I was scared I won't be able to have kids, and if I did, would they become blind? Because I don't want them to go through all the crap I've been through. But doctors assured me, like, no, if if it's unlikely that he will, but if he does, it won't be because you passed it to him.
My thing
And
is, my thing is that if your son is blind or your daughter is blind, then it's not really worried me that what if he's blind, because the way I look at it is that's one more person I can relate to my kid better than I would if he would have been, completely sighted. And I would be able to teach him on his level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the
Well,
main thing for me.
yeah, and that makes sense. But that's why you have to be open to. That's why you always got to be open to, the stuff that people who are not blind do, and how they think.
Right.
A lot of times we think differently, because of how we got to do things. But you got to understand, you got to be open. Like, just because they do it differently than you do, don't mean they don't care how you do it. Or,
Right.
you got sighted friends. Sometimes sit down and talk to them about it. Like, hey, what do you think? Sit down and talk to them about it and say, like, what's different? What do they do differently that you can't do or you haven't done?
Right.
You got to be open about that, because if you do have a kid one day that can see, you'll understand and you can be on their level.
Heck yeah, man.
Keep them sighted friends, man, because I know a lot of blind people that don't want sighted friends because they're not blind. And sighted people don't understand, but
Right.
sighted people might not understand, but you got to teach them. You got to make them understand, or if they're willing to understand. So if you got sighted friends, keep them. Because you got 9 times out of 10, if you got a sighted friend, you got gold.
Heck yeah, man.
They'll do anything in the world for you. As long as you're not gonna, be funny about it. So keep them. You'll understand the level that they do. So you never know who you might have to teach one day.
Well, with that, I think we're going to wrap this podcast up. Matthew, it's been really good having you on here, man. It's been really good having you on.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem, man.
Appreciate you and your cool producer over there. I bet I'm the first one that's ever gave him a shout out. Hey, Carson.
What's up, bro?
Nice job, dude.
You said what, bro?
He said, nice job.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
You're the man, man.
Heck yeah. So, without further ado, this is Skyler Jarvis, Matthew Bazemore, signing off. Peace!